Let's get started with our first news. Charles Oliveira has made it clear that he's genuinely hoping Justin Gaethje comes out on top against Paddy Pimblett. He explained that, from his perspective, Paddy is likely to rely heavily on his grappling because that's where he feels the fight could be the safest for him. Oliveira pointed out that Paddy moves well, strikes confidently on his feet, and constantly looks for openings to transition the fight to the mat. But despite those strengths, Oliveira believes Paddy's main focus will be to get Gaethje down as quickly as possible. Oliveira acknowledged that Justin Gaethje is a brutally tough competitor with explosive and dangerous striking. Gaethje can pressure at a pace that few fighters can handle, and when he lands, it's felt immediately. His leg kicks are vicious, his boxing is sharp, and his willingness to bite down and swing is what makes him so difficult to deal with. However, Oliveira also highlighted the one area where Gaethje has shown vulnerability: the ground game. He's incredibly durable and powerful, but his defensive grappling has been exposed before, and that's exactly what Paddy will be targeting. According to Oliveira, Paddy won't want to stay in long striking exchanges with Gaethje. The risk of getting clipped, stunned, or completely shut off is simply too high. If Paddy chooses to stand and trade for extended moments, he could get knocked out. That's why Oliveira believes Paddy's smartest route is the takedown. If Paddy commits to it, times it well, and drags Gaethje into deep grappling waters, he actually has a legitimate chance to win and potentially become champion. But even with that tactical breakdown, Oliveira didn't hide the fact that he personally wants to see Gaethje get the victory. He respects Paddy's abilities, he understands the potential threats, but his hope is still that Gaethje shows up, fights with his usual intensity, and gets his hand raised. Oliveira's take adds even more intrigue to a matchup that already has fans buzzing, and whether it stays standing or hits the mat, the clash of styles makes it a fight with huge stakes and real consequences for both men. Move on to another news. Tony Ferguson thinks Paddy Pimblett will beat Justin Gaethje, and he didn't hold back when explaining why. Ferguson is leaning toward Paddy heading into UFC 324, a matchup that already has fans debating nonstop. Tony has faced both men, and those experiences clearly shape the way he sees this fight. He fought Gaethje back in 2020, suffering a fifth-round TKO, which ended up being the first loss in what would become his current 8-fight skid. Then, in 2023, he went up against Paddy, losing by unanimous decision in what was his second-to-last appearance in the UFC. In a recent interview with Uncrowned, Tony broke down exactly why he's siding with Paddy. He said Paddy's not bad, dude, and that both fighters are very beatable, but there's more to it than just skill. Tony pointed to something deeper: the passion. He talked about how Justin Gaethje has spent years fighting, pushing, and battling for that true title shot. It always seems to be right in front of him, then suddenly snatched away. That kind of emotional ride takes a toll, no matter how tough you are. Tony believes Paddy is walking into this moment with a very different energy. Paddy has never fought for a belt. He's stepping into territory he's never experienced before. And according to Tony, that makes him fresher, more excited, and maybe even more dangerous. He said Paddy is going to feel that new rush, that hunger, and it could give him the edge when the cage door closes. Tony went on to say that if he were placing a bet, he'd go with the new kid going in for the new opportunity, rather than the old kid who fought for the belt. In his eyes, momentum matters, psychology matters, and the desire for that first big moment can sometimes outweigh everything else. Even with that prediction, Tony still wished both fighters the best. He added that he hopes they knock each other out, keeping things classic Tony with a mix of honesty, humor, and raw fighter mentality. Shortly after giving his take, Bilal Muhammad posted a video reacting to the brewing hype around this matchup, adding even more fuel to a fight that continues to grow hotter every single day. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall has released footage from a recent appointment with an eye specialist, and the update is more serious than many fans expected. During the evaluation, he was advised not to fight until his double vision completely resolves, a warning that highlights just how delicate the situation is. The footage shows the doctor performing tests, asking Tom to follow a light downward, and Tom responds, "I'm trying. I know it's slow," clearly frustrated by the limitation. As the specialist continued the examination, he explained that Tom's vision issues became obvious when the eye moved into certain positions. He said that if the light moved just a centimeter to the side, Tom suddenly saw two of everything. That shift in perception revealed how sensitive and unstable the visual alignment still is. The doctor pointed out that when Tom looks up and in, the left eye moves the way it should, tracking upward smoothly. But the right eye struggles. It stops short, doesn't lift as high, and doesn't turn inward as well as the left eye. According to the specialist, that limitation is a clear restriction. The eye wants to follow the movement, and Tom tries to track the target. But the more the test continues, the more aching he feels in the upper inner part of the eye. The doctor explained that in a fight situation, Tom isn't going to pause and deal with that ache, and he isn't going to tolerate sudden double vision either. Instinctively, he would tilt his head just to compensate, a dangerous adjustment when punches, kicks, and grappling transitions are coming at full speed. Tom then asked the question every fighter in his position would ask, "So how long till I can train properly, Spar?" The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. He said it's a long road ahead and that the prognosis is guarded right now. He strongly recommended that Tom should not fight until the double vision is completely resolved. Not only could fighting make the issue worse and potentially set him back even further, but even training could be risky because he's still seeing double in his peripheral vision. The specialist explained that Tom simply wouldn't be at his peak, and stepping into a fight under those conditions would be a mistake. Shortly after the footage circulated, Sean Ali reacted with sympathy, acknowledging the tough road Tom now faces. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley has reacted to the placement of his fight on the UFC 324 lineup, and his response was a mix of humor, frustration, and classic Sugar Show energy. For the first time since UFC 280 in 2022, he won't be headlining a card, and a lot of fans were shocked to see him pushed down the lineup. Some people even joked that Merab might have accomplished exactly what he wanted, damaging O'Malley's momentum to the point where he's no longer in those top billing spots. During his podcast, O'Malley leaned fully into the joke. He pointed out that Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes had taken the co-main spot, pushing him even further down the order. He said, "I'm not even the co-main, dude. I am falling off hard." He kept playing it up, acting like everything was spiraling. What's next? Prelims? Early prelims? God damn it, it's not going good. Then he joked about ending up back at small regional shows, saying he'd be fighting at ICF in Great Falls. That self-deprecating humor is vintage Sugar, and even with the jokes, it's clear he knows his star power isn't going anywhere. O'Malley also revealed some interesting behind-the-scenes details about the fight against Song Yadong. He said he actually wanted it to be a 2-round fight with 3-minute rounds, just something different. But when he brought the idea to the UFC, the answer was a hard no. He said, "I asked UFC, what do you think about 2 rounds, 3 minutes? They're like, no." I'm like, fine, 3 5s, whatever. He explained why he wanted something shorter. His last 4 fights have all been 5-round title fights, and every one of those camps was a massive grind. He said the workload has been a lot, and switching to a 3-round fight feels refreshing. He's excited to train without the pressure of a championship-level camp and joked that he'll probably do a 3-week fight camp, 1 week for each round. Despite the jokes and the lower placement on the card, O'Malley ended on a positive note, saying the Sugar Show is back and ready for UFC 324, where it's Sugar versus Song. Move on to another news. The UFC is gearing up for something fans haven't seen in quite a while. A full seasonal press conference happening this Friday, and the buzz around it is already building. According to multiple reports, the organization will be hosting a major event covering all pay-per-view fights scheduled from January through March of next year. This format is something the UFC hasn't rolled out since 2023, and longtime fans will definitely remember how wild that one got. Back in 2023, the seasonal presser delivered one of the most chaotic and entertaining moments of the year. Strickland and Ali went at each other in classic fashion, and the energy on that stage was absolutely electric. Big names like Volk, Du Plessis, and Ilya were all present, each bringing their own intensity and hype to the event. It set the tone for the fights that followed and instantly became one of those press conferences people still talk about today. Because of that history, expectations for this Friday are sky high. Fans are hoping for another lineup filled with big personalities, heated face-offs, and those raw, unscripted moments that only the UFC can deliver. As of now, though, Dana hasn't confirmed which fighters will be on stage. The UFC is keeping things tight, which has only increased speculation about who might show up. Will we see champions from the first quarter? Contenders from upcoming headliners? Maybe even some surprising returning names? Nothing is official yet, and that mystery is feeding the hype even more. With the pay-per-view schedule for early next year shaping up to be stacked, this press conference could end up being a major launch pad for storylines, rivalries, and early fight promotion. The UFC seems ready to bring back that big stage energy, giving fans a taste of what's coming in the next few months. And considering how many huge fights are rumored for the first quarter, this event could easily become one of the most talked about pressers of the year. All eyes are now on Friday. Even without confirmed names, the anticipation is real. Fans are waiting to see which fighters bring the fire, who talks the loudest, and what unexpected moments might explode on stage. The UFC knows how to make these events memorable, and after a year-long break from the seasonal format, this one feels like it's gonna hit even harder. Move on to another news. Belal Muhammad has officially called out Ian Garry for what he believes was straight-up cheating during their fight at UFC Qatar. The two went 3 rounds, and Ian walked away with a unanimous decision win. But Belal is now shedding light on what he says really happened in there. According to him, Ian poked him in the eye not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, and Belal claims it wasn't accidental at all. He believes it was planned, intentional, and designed to give Ian an early advantage with 0 repercussions, especially since no points were taken away. Belal explained that this kind of calculated cheating exploits a major flaw in the rulebook. With no automatic deductions for fouls like eye pokes, fighters can take the risk early, disrupt their opponent's vision, and walk away without any consequences. He's been vocal about this issue for a long time, and after this fight, he's doubling down. For him, the only real fix is to change the rules and make eye pokes an automatic point deduction every time. In his view, that's the only way to stop fighters from using them as a strategy. Even with all of the frustration from the fouls, Belal still gave Ian credit where it was due. He acknowledged that Ian managed his distance extremely well and stuck to a smart game plan. Belal admitted that in a 3-round fight, you need to start faster, close the gap earlier, and adjust immediately, and he felt he wasn't able to do that after the early pokes disrupted his ability to see clearly. Belal shared that losses like this are moments for growth, not excuses. He said he's going straight back to the gym, reviewing everything with his team, and using this setback to come back even better. In his words, you learn, you grow, and you return stronger. And he still firmly believes he's one of the best in the world. He also hopes that with the UFC entering a new broadcast era next year, the promotion finally cracks down on eye pokes and enforces consistent penalties. For Belal, the sport needs accountability, and fighters need to know there are real consequences for illegal moves that can change the course of a fight. Move on to another news. A huge UFC event has been revealed for early 2026, and it's a big one. According to AG Fight, the UFC is officially heading back to Mexico on February 28th. With this major announcement, a few early matchups have already been confirmed, giving fans a first look at what the card is shaping up to be. AG Fight reported that Edgar Chades will take on Felipe Bunez in a flyweight showdown on the Mexico card. Chades is coming off a strong win against CJ Vergara, a victory that earned him a well-deserved Performance of the Night bonus, proving he's gaining real momentum. On the other side, Felipe Bunez is coming off a tough loss to Rafael Estam and will be looking to bounce back in a big way. With both men hungry and the Mexico crowd behind it, this matchup could deliver something special. Another fight revealed for the event comes from MMA Latino America and was later confirmed by Big Marcel. Rising prospect Imanol Rodriguez will be facing Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez, an undefeated 6-0 talent, is coming off an impressive win on Dana White's Contender Series. This fight marks his official UFC debut, and it happens in his home country of Mexico. That's a lot of pressure, but also a massive opportunity to make a statement in front of his own fans. As for Borjas, he's coming off a win over Sumadargi, but currently sits at 1-3 in the UFC. He needs this fight badly to prove he belongs at this level. With Rodriguez looking to shine in his debut and Borjas fighting to keep his spot, this matchup has real stakes and could steal the show on a card already generating major hype. This Mexico event is shaping up to be something big, and with more fights expected to be announced soon, the anticipation is only going to grow. The energy, the fighters, the home country debuts, and the early storylines all point to a night that could deliver fireworks for fans and a major showcase for Mexican MMA.